What am I going to do with all these eggs? If you're asking yourself that question because you have a backyard flock like me and they're laying like crazy right now, I have the perfect video for you. We're going to go through 5 recipes that use up tons of eggs, and my goal is to get through all 7 dozen in this bowl. We'll see if I can make that happen. I'm going to share with you a secret on how to get the most perfectly peeled, hard-boiled eggs every time. Once your water comes up to a boil, add 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and that should result in peels that just slip right off. I'm going to use 2 dozen eggs in this recipe. Bring your pot back up to a boil, let it boil for 10 minutes, and then we're going to submerge these eggs in an ice bath for 15. While our eggs are boiling, we're going to get started on our brine for our pickled eggs. Our brine really couldn't be any simpler. So in this pot I have 4 cups of white vinegar and 1.5 cups of water. I'm going to add 1.5 teaspoons of kosher salt and 1 tablespoon of pickling spice. Bring this to a boil, reduce to a simmer for 5 minutes, and you're done. This is the most basic of basic brines. There's tons of different recipes where you can add different things to your brine, but this is the one that I like. We're going to peel these under cool running water, and let's see if that trick I told you actually works. I bet you it will. Yeah, look at, it's sliding right off the egg. Almost in one piece. Okay, once you get them peeled, pop them into your mason jar. A dozen will fit into each mason jar. In the bottom, let me turn this off while I talk to you guys. In the bottom I have 1 garlic clove in each. I got a little bit of dried minced onion, and I like dill flavor, so I put dried dill, about a teaspoon in each one. If you have fresh herbs, that would be even better, but I don't. So, all right, let's get to peeling all these eggs. Okay, we're going to ladle our brine mixture right over the top of our eggs, all the way to the top. But you cannot eat these for 3 days. They have to get flavored with the brine, and it's going to take a couple of days for that to happen. So after day number 3, they're perfectly good to eat, and these will last months in your refrigerator. Moving on. So I think this next recipe is probably going to be my favorite because it's a traditional old-fashioned cake recipe, and who doesn't love a good cake recipe, am I right? So it's an old-fashioned pound cake, and it uses a pound of everything. A pound of this, a pound of that, a pound of the next thing. So we're going to start by creaming our butter and sugar together. So I have a whole pound of butter, which is 4 sticks, and a pound of sugar, which is about 3.5 cups. Next, I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of almond extract and a pound of eggs. For me, a pound of eggs is only 9 eggs. So this recipe quoted a pound of eggs would be 12. But I want to show you the difference between my chicken's eggs and a large store-bought egg. This is your standard store-bought grocery egg. This is one of my chicken eggs. Look at the size difference. Can you believe that? That is why in this recipe I'm only using 9 eggs, because 9 eggs weighed a little bit over a pound, 1.16 pounds. One teaspoon of nutmeg, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and 1 pound of flour, which is about 4 cups. Place your batter in a well-greased bundt pan. This goes into a 350-degree oven for 1 hour uncovered and 30 minutes covered. Look at that, how beautiful. I have to let it cool in the pan for a few minutes and then I'll bring you back when I hopefully turn this out into one piece. All right guys, moment of truth. We're gonna take the pan off of this cake. Ready? I did run a knife along the sides just to loosen the edges. This one's gonna be so yummy, I can't wait to make this. I cubed up a 1-pound loaf of brioche bread. You can use any type of bread, and this recipe actually calls for a baguette, but I thought this would taste better. I have 2 pans that I've lightly greased with cooking spray, and I added a couple dots of butter to the bottom, and I'm just going to spread my bread between the 2 pans. The recipe actually says that this makes 1 9 by 13, but I wanted 2. I want these to be freezer meals for my family. I have 3 sliced bananas, and I'm just going to sprinkle over the bread. The recipe only called for 2, but because this is a banana French toast, I wanted it to be heavy on the banana flavor. So I chopped up 1 additional banana. I think you could do as many as you wanted, to be honest with you. Okay, we're just going to set these aside while we make our custard. So this custard starts out with 8 eggs. Going to give them a quick mix, followed by 3 cups of milk and 1/2 cup heavy cream. One-third of a cup of granulated sugar, a teaspoon of vanilla extract, a 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon, and a pinch of salt. Mix, mix, mix. We're going to pour our custard over the bread, then cover with foil and refrigerate for 2 hours or overnight.
2 hours later.
These are going to bake for 40 minutes in a 350-degree oven, and in the meantime, we're going to make a streusel topping. For our streusel topping, it's really simple. We're just going to blend together 3 tablespoons of brown sugar, 4 tablespoons of cubed chilled butter, and 3/4 of a cup of nuts. I have sliced almonds that I just kind of ground up. But you can also use pecans. After our French toast has been baking for 40 minutes, we're going to remove the foil, sprinkle it with our streusel, and put it back in the oven for 10 to 15 minutes. It's egg muffin time. So for our next 2 dozen eggs, we're going to make egg muffins. I'm making bacon, egg, and cheese, but you can add whatever fillings you want. It's totally customizable to your preference and what you guys like. You can keep it vegetarian and just add vegetables to it. You can keep it all meat and just add like bacon and sausage to it. Pepperoni would be good. There's like a pizza version you can try. You can make these so many different ways. Let's do it. I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of salt because we have 2 dozen eggs. It's not too salty. And about 1/4 to 1/2 cup of half and half. I'm also going to add chives, just because I like the flavor of chives and eggs. But you can add whatever you want to this, like I said, whatever floats your boat. Give it a whisk. This recipe should get you about 3-ish dozen. At least that's what I got when I made them the last time. Ladle your egg mixture into your muffin cups. I use the silicone because I find they don't stick. If you have a regular muffin tin, you might want to grease the insides just so they don't stick on you. Now just fill with your desired toppings. I have bacon, so I'm just going to crumble some bacon on top. I have sharp cheddar cheese. And I'm going to do that to all of these muffins in a 350-degree oven for 15 to 20 minutes. These look beautiful. They're nice and puffy right now, but they sometimes will settle as they cool. I can't wait to make this next one with you guys. It is a pie recipe. The recipe comes from Andrew Zimmern. I don't know if you guys remember him. He was on the Travel Channel like many years ago, and he hosted that show, Bizarre Foods. Did anybody ever watch that? I loved that show, and I like binge watch if I could. But anyway, this is his recipe. I will link all the recipes in the description box for you guys, except for the egg muffins, because I didn't follow a recipe. I just made that one up. But anyway, let's go. I started off by making a pie crust, and I just blind baked this in my oven. So we're just going to set this aside and make the filling. The filling starts with 4 tablespoons of melted butter and 1 cup of sugar. Just going to whisk that up until it's nice and mixed. 6 large eggs. I can't. A pinch of salt. 2 teaspoons of vanilla. 1 cup of buttermilk. And then we're going to put in just about 2 cups of sweetened coconut flakes. I made a boo-boo and bought unsweetened. I don't know if you guys can see that. Aww. But it's going to go in, and we're going to hope for the best. And honestly, I could probably just add a little bit extra sugar. And I actually think that's what I'm going to do. So I have another 1/4 of a cup. I think I'm going to add maybe half of that. I'm going to pour my pie filling into my crust. I'm going to cover the edges of my crust with some foil just so they don't get too dark while the pie is baking, because this pie actually needs to bake for 40 to 50 minutes. And I don't want my beautiful crust to get all burnt. All right, my beautiful pie is going to go into a 350-degree oven for 40 to 50 minutes, just until the top is a little bit golden brown and the custard is set. Our pie has baked for 50 minutes and it looks beautiful. So I hope you guys enjoyed being here with me today. I hope this video gave you some egg inspiration. If so, drop me a like. Did you know YouTube told me something today? It said that 86% of people who watch my videos aren't subscribed to my channel. So if you wouldn't mind, it doesn't take long and it doesn't cost you a cent. Just click that subscribe button. That way you'll get notified when I post more videos like this. I hope to see you in the next video, and before I go, somebody else wants to say bye to you. She's the only one that lets me pick her up. She loves being pet. Say goodbye to the people. Bye.